So let's all come together and start off with a Mool Mantar and just focus your minds ekagrachit hoke. When we say the words of the Mool Mantar, try and focus your chit, focus your mind completely on the words and the vibration of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Parchar Ji's Bani. And after each word, we'll leave a very little short gap so that Guru Sahib Ji's Bani can absorb inside of you, go deep inside of you. So don't try and rush it, and just take laha as much as you can. WhyGuru Sahib Jiyo Ek Oankar Sat Naam Karta Purkh Nirpao Nirvair Akal Murat Ajuni Gur Prasad Jap Ad Sach Jugad Sach Happy Sach Nanak Hosi Pi Ad Sach Jugad Sach Happy Sach Nanak Hosi Pi Sach. WhyGuru Ji Ka Khalsa, WhyGuru Ji Ki Fateh. So, what I want to do is I want to just start off with, and I'm sure for some of you this may have actually changed whilst you've been here at the camp for the last few days. And to start off with a little question for you to ponder for a little while, and that is, you can name or write one thing in order, that's in order because it was three things, I've changed it to one, right? In order that you feel is the essence of Sikhi for you personally. So often when we answer questions, what starts to happen is that we try and say the right thing, or we try and say those things that we have learned. And often the three things that normally come to our mind is Naam Japana, Vand Shakana, Kirt Karni. But like, just for a moment, forget that you know that. And make this very personal for you. Think about your journey, your own inspiration, and for whatever connects you. There is no right or wrong here. You're not trying to look at what somebody else has said, but what's one of the first things that comes to mind when you feel the essence? So the essence, and I'm sure everybody here understands what essence is. Right, so the essence, the way I describe essence is, so if we've got a jalebi, the essence of a jalebi is what? Sweetness. Yeah, it's sweet, the mittha, right? And in that same way, the essence of Sikhi for you personally. So, who wants to start? Hanji Jaspal Singh.
Gratitude.
Oh, amazing. So, gratitude. And there's a whole Ashtapadi that's dedicated to gratitude in Sri Sukhmani Sahib, where Satguruji start off with saying Jai Prasad. Jai Prasad actually means your grace. But the moment we say your grace, what we're actually saying is that I'm grateful for. So Jai Prasad is recognizing the grace of that one, but as we recognize the grace of that one, we are saying that this is what I'm grateful for. But I always say, and this is what's so amazing about this, is because it makes it about you guys. Because you've just said now that it's gratitude for you, being grateful. And then we can just pick from Gurbani that where does Gurbani talk about gratitude? And Gurbani talks about gratitude with a twist from the way the world may have asked us or requested for us to practice gratitude. Because when we're told to practice gratitude, we're told to be grateful for this. There's always something that you can be grateful for. But Guru takes it a step further. The Guru is saying, look, there's a huge list of things that you can be grateful for. Starting off with Jai Prasad, Chatti Amrit Khahe. This Thakur ko rakh man mahe. They're saying that keep that Thakur, that master within your mind that has given you Chatti Prakar Bhojan. And that is 36 different types of delicacies. And I'm sure you've all been here eating some great langar. So what really stuck out for you guys? Something that you've eaten throughout the camp?
Saag.
Oh wow, that was very strong. Saag! You know, main saag khada si. Whoa, alright. So we've got saag. What? Yes, Gurdas. Jam sandwiches. Yes. Alright, so jam sandwiches, saag. Right, these are all things that we can think, wow, you know, something to be grateful for. But what Guru Sahib does is saying, don't only be grateful, because whilst being grateful, you can still get caught in your ego. Because your ego can still say to you that, look, I achieved this. I was able to do this. The Guru says, yes, practice, do your gratitude journaling. Because Guru Arjan Dev Ji did, obviously, because there's a whole Ashtapadi dedicated to gratitude journaling. But Guru Sahib said, look, this is how you practice it. All you need to do is add Jai Prasad. With your grace, I have this. With your grace, I'm grateful for experiencing this. Paji.
For me, it's Simran and calming the mind.
Amazing. So for you, Paji, it's Simran. And again, with the first Ashtapadi of Sri Sukhmani Sahib is dedicated to Simran. Prabh ka Simran, Sabte Ucha. That the remembrance and meditation of that one is the highest thing that we all can connect to. What else? Other things. Reading Gurbani. Amazing. And I know earlier in my journey, that's something that that was something so huge and big for me, was recitation of Gurbani. And back in our days, I think we spent that probably little bit more time. And that's why there's people that would read that were Khan Partiyas from back in the day. Their part was more chalat, meaning like they're more fluent in their Gurbani and reading and reciting. Not that we did it by choice, to be honest. It's just a sangat that we did of certain Mahapurkhs. And as they say in Punjabi, or dande na karvaunde sige. Right, nowadays you do a Santhya class with someone, I'm not sure Sukhdeep can vouch for this, like 45 minutes and they're like smashed, bad, tired, like akkhan are all over the place. Bas ho gayi yaar, break kar li. Like, you probably experience, especially with kids, like you read with them for 20 minutes and they look like they've just been into a jung. Bugs everywhere, it's like, wow. and I remember back in my day, of when I was like 16, 17 years old, and Bhaiji, Baba Gadjan Singh would make us sit down, and it'd be sometimes 3 hours later, never mind saying, "Thodi dekha, a bit tired." I remember a few times just lifting my eyes up the poti and like thinking I just need to take a breath. And soon as my eyes would lift off, they'd throw something at my face. Huh? Muh kiddhar nu chaki janna? Like, where are you looking? So like reading Gurbani was definitely something I could relate to. Anything else? Essence of Sikhi for you personally? Having a sense of purpose. Give me more, like how, what do you mean by that? That's amazing. So what you just said there at the end was, I think, beautiful. That gives you a sense of purpose, like especially when you feel that it gives you direction through serving, and where life before that felt almost empty and meaningless, and it gives you that meaning to continue and serve. That's beautiful. Should we take two more? Should we get someone on this? Oh, there we go.
Had I asked this question 2 days ago, I would have said Seva.
Mm-hmm.
This camp so far, that's changed to Sangat.
Oh, amazing.
And a lot of us haven't slept much, but it's the...
Yeah, you can tell, Vijay. Like you look, no, you look terrible. But shining, yeah, from the Sangat's presence. No, it's so true. And I think it was a bit of a fight in my head with Mano, because I was thinking, you know what, like I'd love to do Sangat as my lecture, and I was thinking about, like, what is it that I'm so excited about of coming here today? And it was the darshan of Sangat. And that's what was lighting my heart up every time I thought about coming here. It was the presence, being in the presence of the Sangat. And being in the presence of Sangat, it really helps you to come into that space of humility and lower yourself. Like Guru Sahib Ji said, that Vich Sangat Har Prabh Vase Jiu. That WhyGuru is found within the presence of Sangat, because it's this collective uplifting energy that is coming together to help us to connect to Akal Purkh WhyGuru. So when I was putting this together for some universities, and the thing that kept coming back to me again and again, and as I was thinking for myself, what is that essence for me? And I know some of you might be sitting here with like notes. It's not that type of lecture. It's not structured. There's no, I don't know what you'll be able to make notes from out of this lecture. It's very just random. As something was coming to me, I was just throwing a slide together. So I don't know, Benji, what you're going to do with that pen. Yeah, amazing. All right. Sorry, just before I move on, there was another hand up on this row.
Yeah, for me personally, calm, like a calm mind.
Amazing. So it helps you to just bring that calmness inside. Amandeep Singh, I'm sure you've said plenty already in the camp, but I'll give you a chance. When you mean here, you're obviously just referring to Basics of Sikhi camp, right? Not being biased or anything, but just to make sure. No, I'm only joking. So where did this idea come from for having this as a theme of these three things? The Guru, having Gurbani, and then I'm not sure if anybody else went through it. This is where the idea came from. And there was one thing that the Siddhs and the Yogis, beat the emperors of the time, beat the Aurangzebs, they always wanted to see miracles. And we often think about miracles of doing something out of the ordinary, doing something magical. And people, for some reason or another, they like to link that to dharam, to a path, to a faith, to a religion, to a prophet, to a guru. But this question was asked by the yogis to Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and Bhai Gurdas Ji tells us about this. It says, Siddh bolan sun nanaka, tuhe jagno karamat dikhai. We're sitting here in these mountains in Sumer Parbat, and we're sitting at such a peak that nobody, unless they've got some form of spiritual powers that are able to reach this space and come and climb to the top of the mountain, for one, we're bewildered of how you've even reached here and how you've climbed a mountain so high to get to this peak. And then we've been hearing that you've been showing miracles to the world. So they're saying that Siddh bolan sun nanaka, tuhe jagno karamat dikhai. So they're making a statement that says that you have shown miracles to the world. And then they said to Guru Nanak, they just says, Kuj vikhale asanu. They said, show something to us as well. ਕੁਝ ਵਿਖਾਲੇ ਆਸਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਉਂ ਢਿੱਲ ਅਵੇਹੀ ਲਾਈ ਢਿੱਲ means ਢਿੱਲਾਂ ਕਿਉਂ why are you taking so long right show us what is that miracle that you show to the world and you know what I love about this pankti is that where Bhai Gurdas ji says Baba Bole Nath ji this is now Guru Nanak Dev ji spoke and replied and the yogi that they were speaking to his name was Nath ji Baba Bole Nath ji and why I love this part of the pankti is because in here it actually gives us a little glimpse of the way Guru Nanak Dev Ji used to speak. If you look at Bhai Gurdas Ji's writings, Bhai Gurdas Ji's language and the way they put their vara and kabits together isn't in this language, in this dialect. Asan te vekhan jog vast na kai. That's how Guru Nanak Dev Ji spoke. Asan te vekhan. So instead of saying from me or mere kolon, they said asan. Right? It gives you that little glimpse of how Guru Nanak Dev Ji spoke, and that's why. And whoever did darshan of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, the likes of Baba Buddha Ji, would have been telling Bhai Gurdas Ji, this is how Guru Nanak Dev Ji used to speak. This is asante vekhan jog vast na kai. Kai, the word here, kai, means there's nothing here, there's nothing worth I've got to show you guys what you want to see as a miracle. And when Guru Nanak Dev Ji used to speak to Bhai Mardana Ji as well, they used to speak in that way, in that language. They used to say to Bhai Mardana Ji, they'll say, Mardana kya baat? Like, what's up? And this is why I love this pauri of it giving us that glimpse. Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, let me tell you the miracle that I have. Let me tell you the miracle that I experience. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, this is my miracle. And they said, my miracle is this. Gur Sangat Bani Bina Duji Ot Nahi Hai Rai. This is where the inspiration came from, is this pankti. Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, for me, there is no other miracle. There is no other support for me. I don't know what it is that you guys want to see, but for me, the miracle is a guru, sangat, and then bani. Gur sangat bani bina duji ot nahi hai rai. So I felt that Guru Nanak Dev Ji saying this, and I'm sure you guys can all vouch for this. Sangat is a miracle. Like, what other miracle do we need to look for? This is it. When you come into Sangat, it's a miracle. What you thought that you could never overcome, certain thoughts that you had in your mind before that you felt were impure, you come into Sangat, you sit in the presence of Guru Granth Sahib Ji, you sing together, and those thoughts are gone. You've been battling and battling with your mind, thinking, oh my God, I can't believe I'm having these dirty thoughts. You've come into the Sangat and you don't even know where they've gone. Isn't that a miracle? That's why Guru Nanak Dev Ji is saying that Gur Sangat Bani Vina Duji Ot Nahi Hai Rai. Ot is that support. This is our support. This is the essence of Sikhi. These three things. When we've got these three things, we've got everything. And that's why, for me, number one is Gurbani. Not to say it is number one, but for me personally, it's Gurbani. And it happens to be that it's my topic as well. So when I think Gurbani, I think of this line, and that's Gurbani is jag meh chanan. That Gurbani is the chanan, is the light that illuminates this world. Karam vase man ai. Karam Sangat Ji, two meanings to it. One from the Sanskrit language, which is action. Karam also comes from the Farsi and the Arabic language, which is bakshish, which is grace. And it's with Akal Purkh's grace that Gurbani comes and sits in our heart. And Gurbani truly is what illuminates and lights this world up. Bhai Gurdas Ji said that Gursikhi da likhana Gurbani sun samajhe likha. Bhai Gurdas Ji said, if I was to write something about Gursikhi, so Gursikhi da likhana. So ਇਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਕੀ ਲਿਖੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਚ ਤਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਇਹਦਾ ਲਿਖਣਾ ਇਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਕੁਝ ਲਿਖਣਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ if I was to write about Gursikhi, Bhai Gurdas ji said this is what I would write about Sikhi. This says that Gurbani sun, listening to Gurbani is what I would write about Gursikhi. They said is Gurbani sun, samjhe, is to understand it, contemplate it, and likha. And they said to write Gurbani. The experience and the feeling of writing Gurbani, there's nothing like it. There's just something magic about it. It helps you to instill Gurbani inside of you. When I'm making notes for my gathas that I have when we record at home, and in my notes I actually write down the panktiyan. I write down the words, and so that those words, so I know where each sihari, bihari, onkad, if it's a lav or a dolama, so that it can be instilled inside. That as you're writing that, it feels like it's going deep inside and it's seeping inside of us. Experience it. So it's something that really helps me. And hearing it from Bhai Gurdas ji, saying that if I was to write about Gursikhi, for me Gursikhi is Gurbani, is listening to Gurbani, but not just listening to it, but it's actually understanding it and it's writing it as well. So for me, when I hear the word Gurbani, truth, the word truth just hits me in my face. That Gurbani is nothing but the truth. All we are going to find in Gurbani is the truth. But we don't always necessarily, when we read Gurbani, look at it in that way, that how is it telling me the truth? What truth is it telling me? What truth do I need to become aware of? That's what we're going to hopefully try and do today, is try and look at what truths is it that we need to become more aware of so that it can help us in our lives. Guru Nanak Dev Ji said that Sach ki bani, Nanak aakhe, Sach sunai si, Sach ki bela. What truth is this? The truth that Gurbani tells us, first of all, is the truth that only that one is Sat, only that one is the truth. But then it also tells us the truths and it gives us the insight to this entire creation. This entire creation of how everything works, how everything is made. It tells us the truth of our body, it tells us the truth of our mind, tells us the truth of our emotions, tells us the truth of our thoughts. This emotion will do this for you. This thought will serve you in this way. Gurbani tells us that truth. We don't necessarily know. We sometimes happily allow ourselves to experience, to feel a certain emotion, not knowing how that emotion is going to serve us. But Gurbani does know how it's going to serve us. Gurbani can tell us, if you are allowing yourself to do this, then this is what it's going to cause. That's the truth that Gurbani reveals for us. Oh, just in this pankti, by the way, I remember when I was putting this slide together, my little one, actually he's not my little one anymore, he's my middle one, right? So my middle one, he asked me a question. He said, Dad, he goes, why is there no onkar here and why is there onkar here and it's the same word? There's Sach here 3 times in this pankti. 2 Sach have no onkar and 1 Sach has an onkar. And I was like, I ain't got a clue. That's not true. I do know. Right? But I just thought, wow, how observant. That was amazing. And this is the other thing for me. Gurbani is so wow that we don't realize how much is in Gurbani. And I often say that Guru Arjan Dev Ji spent 2 years of putting Sri Ad Granth Sahib Ji together. Yeah, 1602 to 1604, and then 1606 was Guru Arjan Dev Ji Shahidi. So it was only 2 years before the Shahidi, they completed Sri Ad Granth Sahib. And in that, look at the detail that's in there. That even if there was no grammar that was added to Gurbani, or it may have been, but Guru Arjan Dev Ji made sure that we can understand Gurbani in the actual context it's written in, and helped us not only to attribute rag to that Bani, but actually put things like putting an onkar there and not putting it there to help us to understand what our Guru is actually saying to us. Guru Nanak Dev Ji said when they came into this world, there's so much hypocrisy. There's so many people that are following empty rituals, but they said that's enough now. They said Sach ki Bani. Sach ki Bani here, Sach here is plural. It's not talking about as in the one truth being God. So that's why it hasn't got an onkar underneath it, because it means the words of truth. Yeah? So it's the words of truth. And that's why it's got no onkar there. It's saying Sach ki Bani, the words of truth. Nanak akha. And if you look at the way Nanak is spelt, is Nanak spelt in Gurbani more times with the onkar underneath the kakka or without? Without, yes. Because every time you see Nanak without, where it says Nanak likhya nal, right? It's talking about Nanak there, it's a short bisram. And because it's saying Nanak is saying. But Nanak here is saying that I'm referring to myself here. And then there's no bisram there. Sach ki Bani Nanak akhe. I am, Nanak is now saying the words of truth to you. So we know it's words here because there's no onkar underneath this chacha. For me, these little things are mind-blowing about Gurbani. It's one of those things that just does it for me. Yeah, it's just like, whoa. And then, Sach sunai si. But now, the Sach it's got onkar underneath it, saying that sunai si, I'm gonna get you all to listen to the truth. The ultimate truth of what is permanent, what is impermanent. What is happy Sach? What is Ad Sach? What is Nanak Hosi Pi Sach? That truth. Sach sunai si, Sach ki bela. It's the time now to speak about these words of truth. This is what Guru Nanak Dev Ji is saying. So let's take an example to make this more real. Cool? Ready for the examples? Yes. All right, so I'm going to pick a little example. What type of truths is it that Guru Sahib Ji have revealed to us that help us to live better? So I'm going to take one example here. So this is our path of creating a relationship with Gurbani. Because a relationship with Gurbani is being in a relationship with your Guru. We want to get to the point of where Gurbani speaks to us. And Guru Gobind Singh Ji said, because Jo muj bachan karan ki chahe, granth vichar sunho chit laye. This is what Bhai Nandalal Ji has recorded, but these are the words of Guru Gobind Singh Ji. They said, Jo muj bachan sunan ki chahe, whoever yearns to listen to my words, they said, contemplate and listen to Granth Ji with full concentration. Right? I've tweaked a lot of the translations just so they flow better and make more sense. So, if you want to talk to Guru Gobind Singh Ji, Guru Gobind Singh Ji said, the only way is for you to contemplate what Guru Granth Sahib Ji is saying, the words and the Gurbani of Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So this is what Gurbani does for us. Gurbani helps us to get closer to bliss and walk away from suffering if we follow Gurbani. Because Gurbani tells us that truth. Because WhyGuru is what? WhyGuru is bliss, is Anand Swarup. We all want to get to WhyGuru, and WhyGuru is Anand. And you might say, I'm alright, I don't want to get to WhyGuru. Don't assume that I want to get to WhyGuru, right? I'm going to assume that you want to get to WhyGuru. Why? Why can I do that confidently? The Guru says, not even because you're here. Guruji is saying, entire humanity is yearning for WhyGuru. Some consciously and some unconsciously. Whether you're atheist or whether you're a believer, actually everyone is yearning for God. Sahaje nu sab lochdi. Every bride, soul bride, lochdi, feminine, lochdi, sahaje nu, is looking for that equipoise, is looking for that inner balance inside. Every human being is, but all it is, we're going about it in different ways. And often in time, some of us thinking we're getting to that, but actually we're walking towards that. There's many things that we end up doing that are actually getting us closer to suffering instead of getting us to there. Sometimes even in the name of dharam, even in the name of religion. Remember, the moment you start to feel that you are better than somebody else. So remember, you might have just taken on a faith. You might have just taken on a path, a religion, Sikhi. You might just be new to giving up a certain diet. You might have just recently started to eat a vegetarian diet. And then you think, wow, I'm better than you. The moment you say I'm better than you in your head, you've just gone towards that. Because that's arrogance. So now you're walking towards suffering. But I thought I was walking towards bliss. Gurbani helps us to understand this. That what we are doing, is it going to take us there or is it going to take us there? So, Gurbani tells us what rubbish needs taking out. Trash, if you're more American, whichever one. And one thing that really sticks out for me is, there's one trash, there's one rubbish. The Guru says to us, if you truly want this, and you want to let go of this, this is one of the things that Gurbani reveals to us, one of the truths. Prathme chod, parai ninda. First, I gave up slandering. Guru Arjan Dev Ji said, that's one of the trash we need to let go of. This is some of the truths that Gurbani is revealing to us. Prathme chod, parai ninda. What happens? Uttar gayi sab, man ki chinda. Chinda means anxiety. But come on guys, who's going to tell you this? Has anybody here that's gone through some form of anxiety, spoke to a psychologist, gone to their doctor, and the doctor said, oh, Mandeep, nindya ta nahi si karda? They ain't told you that, have you? Have they? No. They've not said, you're anxious. Have you been slandering? Has anybody, psychologist or doctor, ever told them that? Oh, what a surprise. But this doctor does, mera bad guru, mera bad guru, Govinda. Because this doctor knows the truth. This doctor knows all the truths. Not the doctors of this world don't know all the truths. But this doctor does. This doctor says, this Gurbani tells us, the truth. Says, wait there, if you're feeling a little uneasy, have a little self-check. Have you been talking rubbish about someone? Have you been bringing somebody down with your words? How many times has this happened to you? Where you've been speaking about someone, and then you start thinking, oh, you start feeling anxious because you start thinking, oh, say if they found out what I said, is it even completely true what I said? Who's ever got into that situation where they've ended up having a conversation about someone, then they're like thinking, oh, what I said was it even right? Was it even the full truth? Say if they find out, am I okay with them finding out? Who's ever experienced that? You're so bad. It's terrible, these people. Yeah, I do it so many times. And I tell you what, the Guru is actually telling us what we already know. And you're thinking, how? How many times have you started engaging in that conversation about somebody else? You felt quite uplifted first and your energy levels were quite high, but then you started to feel depleted of energy. You started to feel low. And there's something inside of you saying, shut up, don't say, what are you doing? Yeah, and then, at that time, because it's gur mitha, gur makyo, it's like honey when we're practicing falsehood. Because that's how falsehood, that's how illusion, Maya presents itself to us. It comes to us like this, it's like, hello, aja. That's Maya. Sorry man, I know you're married now. And that is Maya. That's how it presents itself to us. E Maya, Mohani. Jin et param pulaya. It captures us. See, this is how Gurbani should speak to us. Right? And because when it feels so good, it's like, oh no, but I just want to blast Sukhdeep a little bit more. It's feeling so good. And then Gurbani should say, oh, good mitha. If feeling sweet, yeah, but you know, that's how it presents itself to you. Good makya, but it tastes like honey. But what's it going to do for us? It's already depleted your energy. I know, and then there's something saying to you inside, stop, stop. And you don't listen. Because there's Gurbani, and then there is Shabad Guru, where Gurbani has come from. Shabad Guru is the Guru that Guru Nanak Dev Ji is referring to. When they asked Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Tera kavan Guru, jiska tu chela. They said, who are you, a disciple of? Who is your Guru? And they said, Shabad Guru. Surt tun chela. They said, my surti, my consciousness is the disciple of Shabad Guru. Shabad Guru is that one that is sitting inside of us, speaking to us. But often, in times, we blank that voice out. Sabe kat Ram bole. Rama bole, Ram bina ko bole re. So, if we want to walk towards that bliss, this is one rubbish that we can start throwing out. And the next time we start indulging in that, and we're thinking, but I want to be more calm, like you said. I want to be at more peace. This isn't going to put me at peace. And let Gurbani speak to you. Let it say to you, Prathame chod, Parayi ninda. Let it say what to you? Prathame chod. Say it together. Prathame chod. Uttar gayi sab man ki. See, Gurbani should speak to us. Guru should be someone that is holding our hand all the time. As we start to indulge in that, what is creating more rubbish inside of us that is going to take us towards suffering, and the Guru's already told us that, let it speak to you. Let it say to you, Asank Nindak Sir. Oh my God, what happened? Let's try that again. Asank Nindak Sir. Okay, once more. Asank Nindak Sir. You feel heavy, like there's a load on your head when you've been talking about somebody in a negative way, bringing them down. And then you want to feel boosted after that, but you're thinking, I just did 5 Japji Sahibs. You didn't really do Japji Sahib. Because if you had done Japji Sahib, then that Pankti would have spoke to you. That I'm going to end up putting myself amongst that category of people that are blind. Asank Murak. And the core. That I'm a Murak, I'm a fool. Asank Nindak. I'm going to put myself in that category of being those countless that Asank Nindak, that are slanderers. Sir karhe, par. I'm going to put this weight on my head. Sometimes you just feel drained and really low. You get out of bed and you just think, pata nahi ki ho gaya aaj. Sometimes we got to ask ourselves these questions. Actually, what is it that I've done that's making me feel like this? How else does Gurbani speak to us? Gurbani, what does Gurbani tell us to embrace? So we've just let go of something. We've let go of something, but we want to embrace something. What is it that we want to embrace? And Gurbani says, Mithat nivi nanka, gun changyaiyan tat. This is how it reads to me. And Bhai Veer Singh Ji vouches for this as well. This translation, sweetness comes from humility. Normally you will see sweetness and humility. But the way we're translating this is that humility is sweetness. So if you want to be sweet, what do you need? So if you want to be sweet, what do you need? Humility. Who wants to be sweet? So if you want to be sweet, eating that jalebi is not going to do it. I've eaten plenty in the last week. It's not worked. But humility does. Mithat nivi nanaka. Gun changyaiyan tat. Tat means what? Tat means essence. The essence of all virtues is humility. But you know what? Why do I constantly bring up humility. So many people have misinterpreted what humility means. A lot of people still think that humility in today's world and today's age is a sign of weakness. And they say if we practice humility, won't people just walk all over us? I had it to the extent where somebody said to me, Baji, as Sikhs, if we're supposed to be practicing humility, does that mean then I don't say anything to my husband that physically abuses me? Do I just let him carry on? This is how badly and misinterpreted things are. Whose fault is it? People like me that say, be humble, then we don't explain it. We don't explain it. Like, we just assume that everybody knows. So it's so important. So I've just done a little write-up here, and it says that humility is not looking down on anyone. That's what humility is. Humility doesn't mean that I'm weak. Humility doesn't mean I let everyone walk all over me. It means that I'm not arrogant. I don't look down on anyone. Humility is saying, I'm here to serve you. Humility is saying, I want only good for you. It doesn't mean I don't stand up for myself. It doesn't mean I don't do any of those things. It doesn't mean I let somebody walk all over me. It just means that I'm not full of arrogance and pride and looking down at you thinking that I'm better than you. That's what humility is. Humility is saying, how can I serve you? What can I do to put you in a better place? And sometimes to do that, it might mean that you have to remove yourself from that situation. If it is something as severe as that, if there is no way that situation is going to improve and there's nothing you can do physically, sometimes you have to step away, move away. That doesn't not make you humble. Standing up for yourself doesn't mean you're not humble. It just means that I don't think I'm better than you. It just means that I'm not looking down at you. That's what humility is. And Gurbani tells us that truth. And Gurbani tells us that if you truly want to shine, if you truly want to shine and be beautiful, and what is it that you need to embrace? What is it you want to embrace? You need to embrace humility. Where in Gurbani does it say that if you embrace humility, that you've got that true beauty? In Sri Japji Sahib. So look, I'm gonna put this together now, because I've got not long left. Gurbani, like I said, for me was the essence for me. And in Gurbani, one of the things that sticks out for me, not to say that I've got that, but I would love to be there and to have that beauty, is that the word beauty and humility is the same. If you've got humility, you've got beauty. Okay? So from that place came the inspiration to this, to our newborn little baby, which was taken yesterday, and her name, we named her Sundar Gurbani Kaur. Because like for me, the essence of Sikhi is Gurbani. But for me, the essence of Gurbani is telling us to embrace humility. But humility, if we embrace humility, that is how we become beautiful. And that is how we become Sundar. Sundar means beautiful. Humility is beautiful. That's how we become Sundar. And I'm sure we all want to become Sundar. I'm sure we all want to become beautiful in the eyes of God. And that was the Hukamnama, So Sikh Sakha Banda Pahai Pai, Je Gur Ke Pane Vich Ave, and that's the Pangti, Sarma Khand Ki Bani Roop. Its true beauty is found in the realm of humility. Because Khand can be translated to realm, meaning our state, our spiritual state. Saram can be translated to humility, and Bani can be translated to Banantar, meaning the make-up of somebody. That's what Professor Sahib Singh has translated Bani. So, Kisi di Banantar, what somebody's made up of. If we enter Saram Khand, that's where true beauty is found. Saram Khand ki Bani Roop. What I want to finish off with is for us to continue growing this relationship with Gurbani. And being in a relationship with Gurbani, one of the ways is to have our Gurus by our side, Gur mere sang, sada hai naale. Even if it means just memorizing one pankti, two panktiyan, two lines. Let your Guru speak to you. So many times we say, I'll tell you a conversation I had with someone. I was doing a talk with some sixth formers and I was talking about Mahapurkh, I was talking about Bhai Baba Gurjit Singh, who for me gave me everything. And there was two students there, had nice big massive dumalle on, and they said, oh Baji, I felt a bit, I wasn't sure about when you started talking about these sant, and they all have this way of saying, when somebody's quite negative towards sants, they use the word sant babbe, right? They love terming like that. Oh, when you started talking about these sant babbe, he goes, we just believe in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. I go, that's amazing. I said, have you done a Saj Part? No. Let's talk about Gurbani. How does Gurbani speak to you? What does Gurbani say to you? Silence. How do you believe in Guru Granth Sahib Ji? I'm not quite sure. How? In which way? I said, for me, Guru Granth Sahib Ji is telling me, Gur Sikhan ki har tood de. That give me the dust of Gursikh's feet. I often sometimes, my wife always says you share too much, but as Sangat gets to know me, they know that I do that very often. It could be a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. But sometimes, you know, my wife would tell me, I'd sometimes sit at home thinking about Sangat, just visualizing, hoping Sangat comes to our house, serving the Sangat, washing the Sangat's feet. Because Sangat is everything. And the Guru is saying, Gur Sikhan ki har tood de. I said, never mind a Mahapurkh is saying, but the Guru is saying, give me the dust of Gursikh's feet. And I said, well, and I thought I was following Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And with Guru's grace, they said, you know what, we never looked at it like that. We never thought, there's so many people that say, but we only believe in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, haven't actually got that relationship with Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Even if it means you might not know Gurmukhi, but allow the Guru to speak to you. Just take some panktiyan and memorize those panktiyan. But quickly, in the next few minutes, time's just clicking away, I'm just going to finish off with something, is the relationship with Hukamname. Is the Guru speaking to us when we take a Hukamnama. And when we go to the Guru with something that is bothering us, or something, or even for a time of happiness, I'm just going to share a few quick examples how the Guru speaks to us through Gurbani, through Hukamnamas. There was somebody that was struggling. I was feeling really low and down, and felt that he didn't have that connection with his parents. So he approached a Gursikh, and normally he's the bubbly one. He's the 6 foot out the crowd, laughing, making everyone else laugh. But when it came forward to speaking to Guru Granth Sahib Ji, he looked very low and serious and down. So the Gursikh said, what's up? He said, since I was a young child, I feel that I've been neglected by my parents. They've been too busy working. They don't really sit down and speak to me. There's no connection. The Gursikh said, do an ardas and let's see what Guru Sahib Ji say to you. So his words were, it feels like I have no parents. They took a Hukamnama. This is how Gurbani speaks to us. And the Hukamnama said, this is Sabna ka mapyo aap hai ape sar kare. And that translates to this. You, O God, yourself, or the Guru, is the mother and father of all. You yourself cares for us. He's saying, I've got no parents. The Guru is saying, I am your parent. I am your mother. I am your father. And when you create this link and relationship with Gurbani, you will truly feel Gur mere sang sada hai naale. You will hear Gurbani speaking to you from inside. Because that moment you feel your heart with arrogance and you're about to look down on somebody, the Guru will remind you, don't you want to go to Saramkand? Don't you want the essence of all qualities of humility? Mithat Nivi Narka? Gun Changyaya Tat. On a more lighter note, let me tell you about a story when it's Tegbir here. So when Tegbir wasn't quite here, but was nearly here. So when he was in his mummy's tummy, we were asked to come to Amsterdam with the Jatha Chalda Vahir to come and do a camp over there. And she was heavily pregnant with Tegbir at that time and due to give birth in April, and this was in December. And that time it was raining a lot, storms, it was crazy. Reluctantly we said, okay, they said we need the seva. We said, okay, we'll come. And we got on the plane was delayed, so she was sat there heavily pregnant at the airport for about 3 hours. The plane couldn't take off because it was so stormy and windy. Eventually, for some reason or another, the storm didn't stop, but they decided to fly the plane anyway. So as they've managed to get into there, and if you know you've been to Amsterdam, you just cross in the ocean, it's like, so it takes about an hour. As you're going across that ocean, it was so much turbulence and they couldn't land the plane. Literally, as the plane was trying to land, the wind was knocking the plane and everything was going everywhere. So there's a bunch of guys sitting at the back of us that were on their stag do, going to go to Amsterdam. As you know what happens in Amsterdam. They're all drunk. And one of them, I think, who was going to get married, and he starts like wailing out loud in the plane. He was really drunk. I don't want to die, I don't want to die. And he's crying like this and like, oh please, I don't want to, this is my first time I'm flying, my first flight ever, I don't want to die. And then, so it's like really crazy and the plane's just getting knocked. We landed, that's why I'm standing here now. Yeah, we made it. They managed to land. And I was thinking, this is crazy, she's pregnant, we've come here, how are we going to do this camp thing, where are we going to sleep? And then the Hukamnama came. And I'm thinking, Guruji, did we do the right thing coming here? And the Hukamnama that came at the Gurdwara for the camp was the same Hukamnama that day that came at Sri Darbar Sahib. And Guru Sahib Ji said, Chakhad Changi, Miho Varse, Pi Gur Dekhan Jai, Samund Sagar Hove Bahu Khara, Gur Sekh Lang, Gur Peh Jai. And what does that mean? The Guru said, you're in the right place. They said, Chakhad Changi, even if there's a storm, Chakhad Changi Miho Varse, even if it's raining, Pi Gur Dekhan Jai, but still you go and see your Guru in the form of those children that we were going to go and serve at the camp. Pi Gur Dekhan Jai, Samund Sagar Hove Bahu Khara, even if there's an ocean that comes between you. There was an ocean that we had to cross. Samund Sagar Hove Bahu Khara, Khara means it's salty. Gur Sikh Lang, but the Guru Sikhs still go across that ocean. Gur Sikh Lang, Gur Pe Jai, to go and be with their Guru. And that's how Gurbani speaks to us. So I'm going to leave you with you taking this step to create this relationship. I remember when I first started doing Katha, I was requested to come and do a talk about Naam. And again, this Degbi was about 3 months old then. And who else was going to be speaking at that Smagam was Gyani Gurdev Singh Ji. Gyani Kuljit Singh Ji from S2I, well, was with S2I. Gyani Kuljit Singh Ji. From Akhand Kirtan Jatha, we had Bhai Tarlochan Singh Ji. There was Gursikhs and Bhai Tarsem Singh as well. Great Gursikhs like that. And I'm asked to come and speak about Naam representing Nanaksar. And I'm thinking, I don't know what Naam is. How can I come and speak? And I went and I fell at the feet of, we got a Pothi Prakash at home. I'll show you the picture. I went to the Pothi Sahib. The Pelli Sancha go, Maharaj, I'm stuck. This great Gursikhs that are going to be speaking. This is like, I've just started Katha. How am I going to go and sit and talk about Naam? Maharaj, you just tell me. Tell me what the essence of Naam is. And I took this Hukamnama in that very room, and Maharaj Ji said, Jab hum hote, tab tu nahi, ab tu hi main nahi. The essence of Naam is when your ego doesn't exist anymore. When you don't exist, then you're in Naam. Yes, you start your journey through Naam Japana, but that's what it means to be in Naam, where there's no ego left. There is only Sat Naam for you. So Sangat Ji, start your journey of becoming a Gurmukh with embracing Gurmukhi. So if you don't know how to read Gurmukhi yet, take this camp as an inspiration to start. When you yearn, some people say we don't know where to learn from. When you yearn, you will just know where to go. There's plenty of classes. There's Nihang Santya. There's Mano. Mano. Yeah, and start that journey. If you already know Gurmukhi, then embrace the Guru's words into your life. Take a pankti, memorize it, and let Gurbani start speaking to you. And when you recite Gurbani in a way that Gurbani is truly speaking to you. When you sit there in the morning, ask that question. Say, Satguru Ji moho ke bolan boliye, jit sun tare pyar. Guru Sahib will talk to us. Amrit vela, sach nau, vadiyai, vicha. But you've got to ask the question, not just read it. Remember, Guru Gobind, jo muj bachan karan ki chahe. They said, Granth Vichar, contemplate Gurbani. Granth Vichar, suno, listen to it. Chit laye. I tell you the truth, when somebody's like just ripping Gurbani and reading it really fast and not focusing, I start getting anxious. I'm like, I can't do this. Like, Gurbani is so precious. And being in that poetic form it is, and just the way it rhymes, it's so beautiful. I was giving this example the other day. When you read Gurbani, just the way it rhymes. Nobody else has been able to write so much poetry, and that is divine, as much as Guru Arjan Dev Ji. More than half of Gurbani is contributed by Guru Arjan Dev Ji, over 2,000 shabads. But look at the way they write. Soi karai, jot da pave. Mohe syanap, kachuna, ave pave, ave. Look at the way it rhymes. Hum barik to sharanai. Prab ape pad rakhai. Mera maat pita har raya. Kar kirpa prit palan laga kari tera karaya. Rahao. जी जंत तेरे तारे प्रभ डोरी हाथ तुम्हारे जे करावे सो करना नानक दास तेरी शरणा वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह
If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Please donate and help spread Guruji's message. Link is in the description below. WhyGuru Ji ka Khalsa, WhyGuru Ji ki Fateh.